Raj, did you guys end up getting some crowd, some scenics? Okay.
We're going to do the opening and the anthem.
Raj, what do you want us to do if it's anthem here? And then to us. Okay, okay.
For the freedom that will always be ours. Tonight, singing our national anthem, ladies and gentlemen, the Greek Pride.
No.
The longer they take.
I mean, we definitely feel like it's a winnable game. We're playing the game to win. We're not playing the game to stay with them and, oh, we lost by 2 points. We're playing to win.
We're real serious about it. You know, it's an inner city game, so we just wanted to go out there and just have a competitive, good game and go out there and get a win.
I mean, I don't care who we play, we always got a shot. I mean, it's crosstown rival. We coming for him.
City of Pittsburgh, Duquesne versus Pitt. You know, it's going to be real exciting.
It's the 74th City game. Tonight, the Pitt Panthers travel across town to face an old nemesis, the Duquesne Dukes, the winner to get Pittsburgh bragging rights for the next 365 days. The Panthers 5-0. Duquesne is 1-3. Close to 5,000 fans packed in for this one. It will be a raucous environment for a rivalry game that dates back to 1932. Good evening. Welcome inside the Palumbo Center. Brent Stover alongside Mike White. Two teams that don't like each other very well, but it's been a one-sided affair in recent years.
Well, Pitt has dominated this rivalry, Brent, and especially in recent years, 23 of 26, and in the last 4 years, they've won by an average of 18 points a game. However, the Dukes think maybe there's some magic here in the Palumbo Center. They played Pitt only twice before here at Palumbo. 2 years ago, they actually led the Panthers halftime by 2. And 17 years ago, they upset Pitt here at Palumbo.
The Dukes will have their hands full with a lot of guys, chiefly Carl Krauser.
Well, he's the mature, crafty veteran of the Pitt Panthers. He's a fifth-year senior. He's 24 years old. But who said you can't teach an old dog a new trick? He's been a point guard for all of his career until this year. He's moved to the wing, he's moved to the shooting guard, and he's playing it very, very well. Averaging 15 points a game, he's the heart and soul of this Panther team.
The heart and soul on the other side is Mcallister. He's a senior. It's a senior backcourt. He's the only man on this team averaging in double figures in points, though.
Well, maybe surprisingly, Duquesne coach Danny Nee thinks Duquesne will have to run the ball, make this a fast type of game tonight. That's where Mcallister excels. 18 points a game, a preseason All-Atlantic 10 Conference pick. He's a senior, and this game means a little more to a person like Mcallister, Brent. He's a Pittsburgh guy from West Mifflin, and he said to me before the game, "It's my senior year. I got to get one of these before I go."
He told me the same thing yesterday. It's the 74th City game. The Pitt Panthers and the Duquesne Dukes. We'll tip it off next on FSN Pittsburgh.
Okay, Roger. Okay, you do good. Do you want to come in the open? Not in the open, right out of the first break. I am down on the far end of the court, the opposite side of the band. Opposite side of the band.
Do you need this sheet of paper?
No.
Yes, sir.
I got you.
Are they brought to you by anybody? The lineups? Okay. Bob Donato, Les Jones, and Jeff Clark. Welcome back to the A.J. Palumbo Center on the campus of Duquesne. It's the Dukes and the Panthers, the 74th City game. Brent Stover alongside Mike White, and this one should be fun here tonight, Mike.
Well, you know, everybody thinks Pitt's going to come in here and roll, and they very well might, but I think Duquesne, a lot of emotion on their side. This will probably be the biggest crowd they have of the year. They're playing for, you know, a lot of pride here, and they really think if they can do the job on the boards and not get manhandled inside, they can play with Pitt.
Danny Neen, his 26th season as a head coach, his 5th here at Duquesne. The starting lineups, well, for the Panthers, up front it is Kendall and DeGroat. The center man is Aaron Gray. In the backcourt it's Krauser and Ramon. For the Dukes, it's Duke and Hudson. The center is Ryan Lambert. Jack Higgins and Bryant Mcallister are the guards, and we're set to do it. Lambert and Aaron Gray to jump center in the 74th City game. And right away, the ball will go to the Duquesne Dukes. Glad to have you along.
A little mix-up on whose ball off the start.
It's going to go to Pitt.
You know, we talked about Krauser and Mcallister, and they'll be guarding each other. At least Mcallister's way, he'll be on Krauser.
DeGroat has it out front. The Dukes open in a man-to-man. Kendall right side, loses the handle. 3 players on the deck for it, now 4 in a jump ball. And the Duquesne Dukes will get the possession.
You know, Brent, Duquesne to win this game and be in this game, they're going to have some of their guys play above the level that they're used to. They're going to have some great games from some people to be in this game. And sometimes when you get in a big game like this, guys step up and can do that. And this is a guy bringing the ball down the court that's going to be a must to have a big game for Duquesne, Brian Mcallister.
19 points per game for the senior. Chauncey Duke with it out front for Lambert. Pitt opens in a man-to-man as well. Good matchup, Mcallister and Ramon. 3-pointer Hudson, left it short, rebound Mcallister. He'll try from 17, and he buries it. Duquesne on the board first.
Well, B-Mac said, I got to give me one of these games before I leave here, and might have thought of getting that rebound, maybe bring it back out, take some time off the clock, puts it up, knocks one down.
Ramon for Kendall. There's the advantage inside. Gray dishes, Kendall misses it. Rebound, Duquesne.
Pitt will be strictly man-to-man the whole game. Dukes will play a little man and a little zone, Brent.
On the low block, it's Lambert, the Western Kentucky transfer. And he can't hit it. Krauser with it. Krauser, the cup. Pulls up and banks it in. First bucket of the game for the Panthers. We're tied at 2.
You know, even though he's the off guard and the 2-man now in this offense, he'll still, once he has the ball, he can bring it up himself. He still has those point guard talents, and you'll see him bring the ball up some also.
Hudson, he's got some range. Too strong on that one. And a foul on the rebound. Looks to go against Ryan Lambert of the Dukes.
Well, DeVario Hudson, a 6'6 sophomore, taking an outside shot over Aaron Gray. That's a tough shot. I think Danny Nee would like a little better shot. That's one of the things with this Duquesne team I've seen. They're not always the most patient team. Take a number of bad shots.
Ramon running the point. Krauser shifting over to 2. Here's Gray down low, and he traveled with the basketball.
Duquesne has to play bigger than they are, Brent, on that inside. They are definitely at a size disadvantage. 6'6", there's their tallest starter. Here's Aaron Gray, a 7-footer. Just a little shuffle of the feet.
3 double-doubles in the first 5 games for Gray. He's been in double figures in points, 4 out of the first 5. Tough man-to-man defense for the Panthers. Mcallister fights his way through. Count it.
B-Mac with a little dipsy-doodle there. You know what? He did a great job of reading that defense here. He took the drive. Aaron Gray did not help. Watch Mcallister here. Hesitant. Aaron Gray does not step in and help. And Mack off the glass. Chance for the 3.
19 points, 4 rebounds a game for Mcallister. 75% foul shooter, and he completes a 3-point play.
Very important for Duquesne to stay close early in this game.
A little half-court trap. Now they back off, and Krauser with it right side.
He said he has to play some zone against Pitt. Maybe make them prove they can shoot the ball from the outside.
They did in the last game against Auburn.
Boy, they
no doubt about that. DeGroat wants it from outside, and he knocks it through there. 3-pointer for John DeGroat.
Duquesne will push it up quickly. You know, surprising, you wouldn't think Duquesne would want to run with Pitt, but D&D thinks that's what they have to do if they're going to have a chance in this game.
Kieran Achara done for the season. He's the normal power forward for this team. Too strong on that shot, cleared by Ramon. Ramon into the lane, lost the handle, but Pitt regains it.
Offense. Krauser with the elbow on Mcallister. Danny Nee is upset at Ryan Lambert. They're big guys. They're inside guys. They've really taken 3 bad shots, I think, here. And now at the other, you're going to see Krauser. Watch with the left elbow a little bit. Mcallister gets into him. There's just a tiny push there.
Krauser 19th on the Pitt all-time scoring list. Krauser has had a nice career. They thought he would go to the NBA, but elected to come back for his senior season. Mcallister turned down the 3. And now he's tied up by Ronald Ramon. Good defense by Ramon, and Pitt gets it back.
You know, it's always been a staple of Pitt's teams the last few years. Even when Ben Howland was there, now Jamie Dixon, that defense, Brent. That tough man-to-man defense. And these young guys, Ronald Ramon's a sophomore, they've kind of bought into that. They're playing some of that defense you've seen the last couple of years from the Panthers.
Ramon sets up the offense. Nearly 4 minutes deep into the contest. Tied at 5, the lob for Gray. Rebound to Duquesne. Mcallister cuts through and has it knocked away. A foul against Ramon. Tied at 5, 4 minutes into the game. Danny Nee, chance to talk things over. Tied at 5, just underway at the Palumbo Center. I wasn't sure what they were doing there. They looked like they were going to try to inbound. Yep.
Rod, do you want me to welcome back or anything, or just go straight into it because we don't have a lot of time? 90? Okay.
Anything you want to touch on? Ill-advised shots. That was a good point. He told me Hudson's got some range, but let's talk about Achara. First chance we get. I alluded to that.
Yeah, we definitely should. Yeah.
I'm just going to talk about Danny Nee very quickly about how he's handled the team in the losing streak.
We're going to tag. We better tag on that then. That'll be fun.
Okay. Danny Nee is a self-proclaimed old-school coach. During his team's kind of rough start to the season, he hasn't been able to do that way. He's been kind of laid back, funny with the guys. He says one with them working has a little more honey, a little less vinegar. Welcome back to the A.J. Palumbo Center. Well, Duquesne head coach Danny Nee says he's definitely an old school coach, but he's also funny and laid back, which has been so important in Duquesne's tough stretch to start. He says he can't be too hard on the guys. He said yesterday, quote, he needs to be a little more honey, a little less vinegar, guys.
Trenny, thank you. He is old school, and he's fun to talk to. He eases the tension for these guys. He's good for a team that struggled early on, I think.
On the inbounds, Ryan Lambert.
Yep, Lambert, the transfer, as we mentioned, from Western Kentucky on the board, and it's 7-5 Dukes.
Yeah, but he has to be easy. But one of the things that makes it hard on Danny, losing Kieran Achara, their 6'8" inside player, 6'9", with a shoulder injury, out for the season. Big loss, especially against a big team like Pitt.
Done for the year, but should be able to get a medical red shirt. We're going the other way. Jamie Dixon and Carl Krauser don't like that one.
Now they caught a carry, and hey, Carl from the Bronx, we do that all the time on the playground. Nobody calls that. He's a little wondering what the heck's going on here. I never get that called on me.
Vario Hudson, he's the replacement for Achara. Talk to the Duquesne people, they'll tell you everything offensively and defensively goes through Achara. So that's a big loss, particularly for a game like this.
Big loss is Danny Neeson in the locker room also, and on the bench, a very positive guy with Achara. And that's the key for the Dukes tonight. How will they fare against these big inside guys of Pitt?
Higgins has it stolen away. Here comes the freshman Levance Fields. Shovels it for Krauser, lays it in.
Pretty dish by Levance. Actually threw that pass a little backwards to Carl Krauser running the floor. A year ago, Krauser would have been leading that break. Now he's filling the lane, finishing the break.
Fields, a freshman, has started 4 games this year, 17 assists, only 5 turnovers. Good to see him taking care of the basketball if you're a Pitt fan.
They haven't played the greatest of competition, but that's a pretty impressive stat. And then their other point guard, Ronald Ramon, 18 assists, 1 turnover.
Hudson left open. Bullseye! Davario Hudson showing his range.
Dukes hanging in early on, and 3-point lead. As I said, they have to keep this game close in the first half, and then hope they don't wear down in the second half.
Keith Benjamin also into the game. Benjamin, a 6'2" sophomore from Mount Vernon, New York. Krauser to the cup, and he lays it in.
Carl Krauser with a nice pump fake and no help. Where's the help defense from Duquesne?
Duquesne by 1, 6 minutes deep. Jack Higgins, he's another guy they've got to get going. Has to shoot the basketball better. There he is in the fadeaway. Too strong, rebound into the hands of Krauser, and he leads the break. Krauser to the rack, left hand wouldn't go. Mcallister saves it. Here come the Dukes. Hudson for Duke.
Oh, nice strip. Nice strip. Good hustle back on defense by Keith Benjamin. We mentioned Jack Higgins. He's another Pittsburgh guy. Took a bad shot at the other end. Watch Keith Benjamin. Never gave up. You don't get anything easy against these Panthers.
Dukes inbound underneath their own basket. Hudson fade away on the baseline. It spins off. And rebound to Fields, the little man.
Little man, but look at those shoulders on him. He looks like a linebacker.
Krauser off the screen. Sam Young, the explosive freshman, and he banks it in for 2.
Sam Young has given this team a big lift off the bench every game. Very athletic freshman. You're going to hear a lot from him in the future.
2 players on the floor and timeout, Duquesne. Good heads-up play over there by number 25, Shawn Mckeon, and he's a guy they need good minutes from. Again, trying to replace Kieran Achara.
Well, Aaron Gray's 7 foot. Shawn Mckeon's a big guy in the underneath for Duquesne. They need something from him tonight. Danny Nee, he hasn't played very much this year. Actually, since he's come here, it's been a little disappointing. But Danny Nee told me he's been looking better in practice the last few days, showing a little bit more authority with Kieran Achara out. He knows now. Maybe it's my time. I got to step up and do the job. And we talked about Aaron Gray. He's, the 7 footer. I think he's one of the most improved players I've seen so far this year. But he's been quiet so far, and so far that size advantage has not hurt Duquesne.
Well, there's Achara right there. He will be sorely missed. A torn labrum. Going to have surgery on that left shoulder. Saturday, it's local college hoops. A doubleheader as FSN Pittsburgh brings you 2 exciting local matchups starting at noon. The Dukes take on the West Virginia Mountaineers. Next, it's the Penn State Nittany Lions hitting the floor against the Pitt Panthers. Catch all the action on Saturday starting at noon, only here on FSN Pittsburgh.
Out of bounds play. Watch Mcallister coming off the screen to the wing.
Aaron Jackson, a freshman. Into Mcallister, too strong. Airballed it to Benjamin.
Worked perfectly. Got a great look.
Fields in trouble, and Mcallister the steal. One-on-one with Krauser. Mcallister off balance, and the rebound knocked out of bounds. And it will stay with the Duquesne Dukes.
Brian Mcallister, one of those we mentioned in the beginning, one of the Pittsburgh kids from West Smithfield, played high school games sometimes here. In the state playoffs, he won a big semifinal game here at Duquesne. He's been an excellent player for them. Had the suspension first game of the year, but he's really come on strong. They were lost without him, Brent, in that first game of the year against Arkansas Pine Bluff. They need a big game from him. So far, off to a good start.
Ryan Kelly, a 6'7" freshman into the game, and Jackson, a freshman point guard, who started the first game when Mcallister was suspended. Down the baseline is Gaden, and that's a jump ball.
Nice defense, just a simple hands-up defense by Terrell Biggs. Got beat on the baseline, but just went straight up and got a block.
Tyrell Biggs, another freshman, 6'8", from Nanuet, New York. Inbound to Lambert. Kelly, another freshman, he's from Decatur, Georgia. Mcallister with 14 to shoot. Mcallister off the window, won't fall. Cleared by Benjamin. Krauser, the spin move. Won't go, but a foul.
Carl Krauser. I love his emotion. Even when he's out of the game, he's just such a leader. And he is the old man on this team. He's 24 years old, 15 points. Look at the 3 steals, too. It's a definite, watch him that. Watch a little spin. Ooh, he'll come here, spin. Whoop, nice move. It's a big difference when you go from being a point guard, the ball in your hands all the time, to that off guard. But I think he's adjusted to it pretty well. And really, Brent, sometimes that's an advantage for a player. If you're a player like him who can create, sometimes you can create more from the wing. And also, with our philosophy of Jamie Dixon is he's not going to get beat down as much if he plays a wing as he will at the point guard, because he's not having to pound the ball and bring it up all the time. So it might save him a little bit, be a little fresher as the year goes on and late in games.
They got both free shots coming in, a 53% foul shooter. And it's a 3-point lead. You saw there moments ago. Antonio Graves into the lineup. A lot of depth on this Panther team. Using the early part of the schedule to figure out what the rotation will be come conference time. 10 or 11 guys seeing quite a few minutes in the first 5 games. Here's Gaden, top of the key for Lambert. Jackson was open, cutting through.
That was one of the few times they've been running that flex offense, variations of flex, and they haven't had an open cutter except that time.
Lambert to fade away, left it short.
Another bad shot for Duquesne.
Here comes Antonio Graves from Mansfield, Ohio. Benjamin spots it up. Here come the Dukes. Mcallister to the rack, and he lays it up and in.
B-Mac is very athletic. He shows it there, and that's what Duquesne, Danny Nee wants. Let's get it out and run. Let Mcallister try and make some things happen.
13-12 game, 11-17 in the first half. Knocked away Mcallister to the cup again, and he gets hammered by Keith Benjamin.
Well, Brian McAllister's playing like he does want one of these before he leaves here. He's been the heart and soul of this team. We talked about Krauser. McAllister's pretty much doing everything for them on the offensive end, on the defensive end. Benjamin from behind, and whack on the head.
Bryant McAllister, 19 points a contest, no doubt. He is the senior leader on this Dukes team, making his presence felt early on the break. It's a one-point game nearly halfway through the first half. Brent Stover, Mike White, Trenny Kuznarek at the 74th City game at the A.J. Palumbo Center. Bryant Mcallister has been effective so far.
He's really done everything for him. A little jumper from the outside. He's been good on defense. He's taken it to the hole. He's made Pitt play him up front. He's got a few steals, 7 points, 3 of 6 shooting, 2 assists, a couple steals. Mr. Everything so far. And I said, they're going to have some guys play above what they're used to. He's doing it so far, although he's a pretty good player anyway, Brent. I mean, first team All-Atlantic 10 preseason.
Missed the first free shot, 75% foul shooter. He gets 1 of 2. At 24 and 5 assists against Robert Morris on Saturday night. 3/4 court pressure, and Pitt with no problem.
Out of the timeout, Danny Need goes to something a little different with a 3/4 court pressure. Now goes to the 2-1-2 zone.
Deep three, Krauser, and it's in there. Carl Krauser from long range.
Special K can do so much for you. They go to the zone, and right away, he knocks a 3 down.
16-13 game on the blocks. Knocked away from Brian Kelly. Steal for Pitt. In the corner, Benjamin turned down the 3, and on the baseline, he is fouled.
Carl Krauser will be at the point more now that Ramon is not in the game, or Fields. We've talked about the rivalry here of this game, Brent. There's been some, back in the Eastern 8 days and even in the 60s and 70s, this is a great rivalry. This rivalry was heated. I mean, there were some great fights. I'll never forget that Andy Cicini went after Sam Clancy at Pitt. There's a bench empty here at the arena one year. It's been some heated games in this series.
Aaron Gray loses control, but he's fouled as he goes to the hoop with it. Well, it's interesting. Up until 1990, Duquesne still had the advantage in the series, but we know it's really gone downhill for them in the last 15 years or so.
Well, it started happening when Pitt went to the Big East Conference, and Pitt started kind of pulling away a little bit. They just had some great games over the years, and a lot of people still remember those games. One of the other ones I remember in the 70s, they used to play in the Steel Bowl every year, and Duquesne was set up, they thought, to beat Pitt in the first round and play one of the great UCLA teams with Henry Bibby and Wilkes over at the arena when they had John Wooden as coach. And the Panthers upset them. We never knew what the Dukes would do against UCLA. That was back when they were in the top 20.
Yep. Gray can't get it to go. Jackson with it. 3-point game. Midway through the half, McKeon in there at center right now. Mcallister left angle. Jackson guarded by Krauser, and now McKeon flashes out. Stolen away, Kendall. Jamie Dixon said he might be our best defensive player. Levon Kendall, that is. Graves tees it up. Too strong. Rebound to the Dukes. Jackson wants to run.
Reverse the ball, reverse the ball. Boy, Pitt does a great job of bumping cutters and then helping.
Chauncey Duke missed it badly. Gray with it. 3-point Pitt lead. They've got the ball with Krauser. And Krauser penetrates, and in there with a finger roll.
Brian Mcallister told me before the game, he's not the quickest player in the world to guard. But for some reason, he beats everybody, Carl Krauser.
Kane has to find an answer for Krauser. It might not be one. Mcallister goes baseline, draws the contact.
Pitt has maybe what some people might find a little funny philosophy defensively, Brent. I learned this when Ben Howland was there and some of their assistants. We'll get back to that. Watch Krauser here. He just can hurt you in so many ways now. He hit the 3 the last time down. Now he beats you off the dribble. We were talking about that. Pitt will let you go baseline. You got to cut off the baseline. Got to cut off the baseline. They will let you go baseline and force you into help from a big man. You've seen that happen a few times here tonight.
Yep. Mcallister, the leading scorer for the Dukes early. He's got 9. Hit the first free throw. Eyes the second. Spins off. Gray clears it. Pitt by 4. Levance Fields, fun to watch from Brooklyn, New York. 5'10", a freshman. At 12 points, 5 assists against St. Peter's earlier this year. 10 against Auburn the other night. And going to the rack, a foul.
Aaron Gray. I thought this night might turn a little grayish color for Pitt because of him. He's one of the, I think Pitt's coaches have done a great job turning him into a very serviceable inside player. right there, drop step on Shawn Mckeon. He's had a great season so far. I know he hasn't played against the toughest competition, but he looks like he's ready to be a very serviceable big man in the Big East.
You bet. Under 9 to go in the half. Pitt with their biggest lead at 6. McKeon has it, looking for cutters. And it's knocked out of bounds. Tried the entry feed to Mcallister, and the Dukes stay with it. We talked about the depth for this Pitt team. It's going to be interesting, tough decisions, I think, for Jamie Dixon coming up as he gets into Big East play and tries to solidify a rotation.
Yeah, he's used a few different players to start games, and was starting Fields for a while now, and then Ramon at the point, so he's kind of mixing and matching, feeling his way along.
Hudson, mid-range shot, spinning off. Gray with the rebound. Graves all the way to the cup and had it rejected.
Tavario Hudson with a little D in the swat.
Knocked out of bounds, back to Pitt. A frantic pace here, and you talked about it. Danny Nee wants to run. Feels like that's the only way he can hang with Pitt.
Sometimes Brian Mcallister gets a little crazy in that open court with some turnovers. Hudson with a little block there, and at the other end, Mcallister threw it away. Sometimes that's what hurts them the most. They're averaging 17 turnovers a game, Duquesne. They can't afford to have that many tonight.
Gray.
Jump hook.
He was in there deep, but left it short. Had good position on his man, just didn't finish. Chauncey Duke left alone. Too strong. Who else? Gray pulls it down.
Nice
no
shot.
look. Oh. Tap try no good from Kendall. 2 players on the deck. The Dukes come away with it. Hudson up top. 6-point game, 7.5 to go, first half. From the Palumbo Center, Higgins, open look. High arcing shot wouldn't go. Kendall rebounds.
Jack Higgins, very slow start to the season. Danny Nee was hoping he might give him some offense tonight. Has not been able to do it so far.
Foul on the floor. Carl Krauser putting pressure on this Dukes defense here in the first half. 7:13 in the half. 6-point Panther lead. Back at the Palumbo Center, Brent Stover, Mike White, Trenny Kuznera, Carl Krauser. Season high is 27 against Robert Morris. He's already halfway there tonight.
Well, he used to do some boxing when he was a kid, and he's thrown some pretty hard jabs at Duquesne tonight. From the outside with the three ball, he's done it on defense, and he's done it on drives to the basket. 13 points so far, Pitt's 20. Danny Nee said before the game he was worried about two things: Pitt's inside strength and Carl Krauser. And now you understand why.
Fields to inbound. Pitt by 6, and there's Krauser as we speak. Bad looking shot there, and Hudson has the board for the Dukes.
He didn't mean to back that one from the corner.
They got to get Higgins some touches. And he's had open looks in the first 4 games, just can't find his shot so far. There's Mcallister driving in and can't finish. Kendall the board. Panthers by a half dozen. 6:43 in the half. Fields, the freshman, 7 points, 2 boards a game. Turned down the 3 instead over to Krauser. Guarded there by Mcallister. Fields, open look, free throw line. Yes, sir.
You know, I've seen Pitt play twice now. One of the things I've been impressed with their young guys, their freshmen, their sophomores, they've been very patient. That was a perfect example. Patient on offense, worked for a good shot, and finally got one.
8-point lead for Pitt. Foul
Offensive
away
foul.
from the ball, and it's back to Pitt. And over to Trenny Kuzneric. Trenny?
Well, guys, Carl Krauser is obviously a huge asset for the team on the court, but he maybe is big also for guys off the court. When we talked to him on Monday, he said one of his biggest roles on the team this year is helping young guys adjust to this level of college basketball, being gracious to fans, handling both basketball and school. He says that is where maybe he is the best help for this team, guys.
Trenny, thanks. And a couple of times I've been over there for post-game comments, the media session after games. He's always so gracious to the media, always sits down. How are you guys doing? And when he leaves, hey, thanks a lot, guys. I mean, he really is a professional.
He's smart. He knows you got to play the media.
Yep.
That's what's helped him make a good image here in Pittsburgh. I love the kid. I really do. I love it. Watch him when he sits out on the bench in the game. He's the biggest rooter on the bench.
Hudson, he likes the long-range shot. That one rims off and a rebound. A foul on that rebound against Ryan Lambert.
Called Lambert on the hold. And, you know, one thing we mentioned about Krauser there, you notice with his Pitt offense, Ryan Lambert on the foul here on the rebound, going hard at it with Carl Krauser and Biggs, and just grabbed his arm a little bit. But one thing you notice with this Pitt offense, you know, next time down, last year and the previous year, you used to see a lot of high screens for Carl Krauser, and that offense would wear down. They wouldn't have anything. He'd have to take it one-on-one off that high screen. You don't see that high screen as much anymore. A lot more motion in this offense for Pitt.
Tyrell Biggs can't get it to go. Rebound to the Dukes. Jackson comes out of there.
One more.
Chauncey Duke is open. Instead for Jackson baseline. Good-looking freshman Aaron Jackson.
Has been very solid, has not turned the ball over in the first, not very often the first few games, and played pretty good defense also.
1 turnover in 82 minutes of action. Gets his defender off of him, but couldn't hit the shot. And another foul on the rebound. This one against Davario Hudson.
Little over the back. I think, you know, you have to wonder sometimes about Pitt's competition because early in the season, a lot of cupcake use. But I've been impressed with their defense. They preached defense for the past few years here, and these young guys are really buying into that, I think. Now, what's going to happen in the Big East season? Certainly they're not going to hold teams below 50 and 60 all the time, but I like the tenaciousness, and I think they're understanding the concepts that Jamie Dixon wants.
Yeah, Kendall's one of those guys.
Yes, he does a little everything. Really, I think he really benefited a lot from played for the Canadian national team this summer. Had a great summer at the World Championship game. Scored, I think, 40 in one game.
Against the U.S.
Yes,
hung 40
yes.
on the United States. And he's a good defender, too. And he told me yesterday, if you don't play defense, who cares what you're doing at the other end? You're not going to play in Big East play. And that one out of bounds our way.
I got my hand on it.
Nearly a good catch, but you got to come down.
I got my hand on it.
Well, that means you should catch it, right?
I get an assist.
Sam Young back in, and Young is another guy we haven't even talked about much, but Carl Krauser said he reminds him of Vince Carter.
He is so athletic. I'm hoping he gets out on the break here once tonight because you're going to see a throwdown that's pretty impressive.
I saw a reverse dunk on an alley-oop that was phenomenal earlier in the season. Another whistle and another foul with Pitt leading by 9, and this game slowing down a little bit in the last few minutes.
Probably the top recruit in their class last year, Sam Young. originally from Maryland, went to Hargrave Military Academy. Look at him in the face of Brent. I mean, I was looking at him the other day. I mean, he looks like he's about 30. That's how mature he is. Can you imagine? Look at that body on him. He was playing against high school kids 2 years ago. You imagine what he was doing to them? If he can develop fundamentally a little more in his career at Pitt, he's going to be a very, very good player. Great catch for them.
69% at the foul line. The second one is good as well. Got them both. 11-point lead for the Panthers. Jackson from Mcallister. Down the baseline, pulls up, and it's in there. Look, a bucket from Mcallister. Who do you go to when things are getting out of hand? Of course, the senior Mcallister.
You know, he's really, a lot of times, the only one on Duquesne's team that can create his own shot against Pitt.
He's got 11 in the game. Here's Duqusne from 17. Off glass, no good. Rebound fought for between Gayden and Gray, and another jump ball.
Well, Keith Gayden was usually the starter. He was expected to start tonight. Has a sore hamstring, did not start. Comes in the game now, giving it a look. He and Aaron Gray fighting for the rebound. Duqusne, nice little pump fake there. Uses a little kiss, but can't get it to fall. Watch Krauser off the screen here to the right-hand corner.
9-point game, 4:14 in the half. Graves to inbound. Krauser wasn't there, and he stolen away by Jackson in a foul against Young.
Well, Duquesne goes zone on inbounds plays. That play is very good when you're going against a man, but Duquesne usually goes a 2-3 zone on inbounds plays here. If you're going to throw that ball deep, you got to get it real deep. Good play by Aaron Jackson, the freshman.
Jackson, 5 points, 2 boards a game. And I mentioned just 1 turnover in 82 minutes. 6'2" freshman from Hartford, Connecticut. Mcallister runs the offense, trying to chip away at that 9-point Pitt lead. Gayden thinking about a distance shot. Instead for Hudson. There's Gayden in the lane. Double team, shovels it up, good pass. Kelly gets it rejected and a foul.
But you better Mighty Joe Young. How about Mighty Sam Young on that rejection there? Looked a little clean. Called the foul.
Take another look at that one. We're deep into the first half. It's a 9-point game, and Gayden, when that double team comes, you could be in trouble. That time he was okay. Problem is,
little body.
Young jumping a little higher than Brian Kelly. 9-point game.
What, on the replay? Yeah, my bad.
Doesn't like me. No, he doesn't like me. Nothing. Yeah, no. I like going to break with those highlights. Hey, Roger, does Mike get the countdown as well? Okay, so when we go to break.
I'm all right with it, Rod.
Okay, did you get did he count you there or not?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay, because I was going to say, you could jump in on those, highlight to break, but if you don't have a countdown, then you might go over.
Okay. No, I'm fine.
That way he can jump in on those instead of me hogging it all. Yeah, right. Everybody back in the studio is already turning it off because they've heard enough out of me. This week, ACC Sunday Night Hoops returns to FSN with an early season showdown between two national championship contenders. 6th-ranked Boston College takes on number 21 Maryland. Coverage starts with our college basketball tip-off show at 7:30 Eastern, only on FSN Pittsburgh.
Speaking of Boston College, they'll make an appearance here at the Palumbo Center later this year to face Duquesne.
I think the crowd would come out for that one as well. Talking to the AD, Greg Amodio, said they've had a tough time drawing crowds. They come out for the big games, of course, like Pitt, and you would think for BC it would be the same.
Well, you know, Greg Amodio is the new athletic director here, and I've heard of all this. You know, I think he will do a great job. A very enthusiastic guy, but there's no magic of putting people in the seats here at Duquesne. And I've seen it over the years. Even if they're a 500 team, people start coming out. Last time they went to the NIT, they were selling out in '94 by the end of the year, Brent. Just if they're competitive, people will come out to Duquesne games.
Last winning season for this program, 1994. That one in and out of the hands of Krauser. Turnover back to the Dukes. Well, Danny Nee, tell you what, we talked about him being old school. He's got to be pretty pleased that it's a single-digit deficit right now.
Well, they hit a dry spell there, and if they can hang close and keep it within maybe 5 or 6 going on to halftime, he probably has to feel pretty good because they're really struggling to get anything offensively, and he knew this was going to happen. And their half-court offense, he knew they were probably going to struggle.
Keith Caden has it left wing. 15 to shoot for the Dukes. Jackson open. Hudson from 18. Too short. Krauser has it. Krauser without numbers. Goes in anyway. Stolen away. Back throw to Pitt. Wide open Gray for the rim rammer.
Levon Kendall. He'll find the open man. He is not a selfish player. And Aaron Gray with a throwdown.
Not much of an inside presence for the Dukes to this point offensively. Size just not there. Points in the paint, 10-6. 2.5 in the half, 11-point Panther lead. Cross court for Mcallister. Hudson picks it up, and the runner falls for DeVario Hudson.
On the assist from Mcallister, they're really not getting anything out of that flex offense, and Mcallister made it happen there instead of coming off the screen. He flared, went back, and then penetrated, and a nice dish for the beat.
Back to a 9-point game. Stolen away. Ryan Kelly, and he's hammered by Antonio Graves. 2 minutes left in the half. It's a 9-point game, and we remind you right after our game, it's Busch Light, Pittsburgh Sports Tonight. Make sure to tune in for the show coming up this evening. The best in Pittsburgh sports, an update on Mario Lemieux. Certainly a concerning health situation with Lemieux. Analyst Curtis Aiken to break this one down. He's in studio. And the Bucks wheeling and dealing. That and more. Busch Light PST right after we are done here at the Palumbo Center.
You know, we mentioned some Pittsburgh kids in this rivalry. Duquesne has them. Jack Higgins, Bryant McAllister. Pitt doesn't have any Pittsburgh kids. They might in the future, though. A couple kids from Shenley, DeJuan Blair and DJ Kennedy have been at their games. They're juniors. Another junior from Elizabeth Ford, this big 6'9" kid, Steve Swick. Pitt's interested in them. Will they offer them eventually? I don't know, but in the future, Pitt could have a few Pittsburgh guys.
Fields tees up the three. No good off the front iron. Gets his own rebound. Krauser passes it up for Benjamin, who knocks it through there.
Keith Benjamin on the pass from Carl Krauser, making the extra run from Special K.
Keith Benjamin, 5 points, 3 boards a game. Hit 4 of 8 from distance. The lead is a dozen. That's the biggest of the game for Pitt. Ryan Lambert from deep, but it's in there. Ryan Lambert with the triple.
Ryan Lambert, a transfer from Western Kentucky, says, well, I took a bad one earlier in the game, but I'll try to 3-ball again. Knocks one down.
9-point contest. Benjamin puts it on the floor. Spinning off. Hudson the rebound.
You know, Duquesne hasn't gotten beaten that bad on the board so far tonight. I think that's one of the keys why they're still in the game.
30-21. 30 seconds in the half and a foul.
Jack Higgins, boy, he's a senior guard. They need something from him tonight. He's been quiet again. for them to have a chance, I really thought he needed to knock down at least 3 3-pointers tonight and make some things happen. He's been quiet. Sometimes a free throw can get a player going though.
Yep. This is his first free throw of the year, and that's been an issue in itself. He knocks it through. By the way, 3-point field goal percentage for him, just to talk about the struggles, 25% coming in. But the free throw thing has been an issue. Coming into the game, Duquesne had attempted 16 fewer free throws than opponents had made. I mean, that's an unbelievable stat to me in the first 4 games.
And one of the reasons of that is their lack of half-court offense, and you're seeing it here tonight. They really struggle when they can't push the ball and have to go against a team with Pitt's size and a half-court offense.
About a second difference between the game clock and the shot clock. Pitt can essentially play for the last shot. On the block, it's Gray.
Nice.
Kendall wide open, couldn't get the dunk to go, but a foul.
Aaron Gray, the big 7-footer, the aircraft carrier, showing he can dish a ball a little bit too. Levon Kendall on the good cut to the basket. Aaron Gray found him. What made that play? Aaron Gray can just turn around and look over to the defender. 7-footer, he's got a big size advantage, able to find Levon Kendall.
Kendall with a .4 boards, had 10 boards against Auburn the other night, and he's really an unselfish guy. Not getting the opportunity to score as much, playing normally out of that number 4 position, but the way he passes, rebounds, and defends has Jamie Dixon very happy.
Well, his role has changed too. You talk about Krauser. Kendall was more of an outside player in the past years. They needed him to shoot because you have people like Chevy Troutman here and Chris Taft. So now he's playing more inside, and his role has changed, just like Krauser's.
9-point lead with 12 seconds left first half. Duquesne to play for the final shot. Mcallister with 5. In the corner, Chauncey Duke, no good. Rebound tapped around, controlled by Pitt. And that's the way our first half will end. We've played 20 minutes of basketball here at the A.J. Palumbo Center in the 74th City game. Jamie Dixon and the Pitt Panthers with a halftime lead of 32-23.
There he is. Looks like Greg's going to be first. Okay. I don't know if there's anyone that can try to find Jeff Long. I know that I don't have a runner or anything down here, but. Right out of the break, right, Raj? Yeah. Okay. EJ's walking up right now. Oh, he's right. Never mind. Jeff's right there. Okay. Okay, 45 seconds.
Cincinnati.
Okay. I'm sorry? Oh. Welcome back to the A.J. Palumbo Center. I'm here with Duquesne Athletic Director Greg Amodio. And Greg, can you just talk to me first about, you have to be so happy with the way this team's playing. They're running and gunning with Pitt. They're only down 9 at the half.
Oh yeah, this is great. It's a great environment. The students are all excited, and this is exactly what college basketball is all about.
I know that this is what you're looking for. This is what you wanted to bring to Duquesne, this kind of atmosphere. What's your plan to kind of bring that college basketball atmosphere back here to the Duquesne?
Really, it's a several-pronged approach. It's getting back to the students, really giving them the opportunity to go ahead and manage and recruit each other to come out to the games, reaching out to alumni and reaching out to the corporate community as well to come in and provide some dollars to go ahead and back up what we want to do.
How important, too, to continue playing this game against crosstown rival Pitt? A lot of schools have gotten away from doing that, getting away from those kind of city rivalries. How important is that here at Duquesne?
I think this is a great game of tradition and history in the city, coming from Xavier and being involved in the Cincinnati-Xavier game, the crosstown shootout. That was just a big deal back in Cincinnati, and I think we could do the same thing here in Pittsburgh with this game.
Obviously a big thing, too, getting good players, good recruits to come to Duquesne. You guys are putting a lot of money into the athletic center here. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, we've put $2 million into the Palumbo Center for new offices for men's and women's basketball, the administration, strength and conditioning programs, training, recruitment center, things of that nature that will really enhance our programs.
All right, thank you very much for having us here. Thank you for joining us. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk to Pitt Athletic Director Jeff Long.
Out in front, we're going to go out front. He just told us out front on stick. Oh, okay, so you're not wanting us to sit here for this. Okay, yeah, sorry. Turnovers 9.
Okay, 1 minute. Been busy?
Can you hear yourself?
Thank God sometimes there's a delay and you'll hear something you say like after you say it, that's when people rip them out. It's like it's poison in your head. Okay. Minute 30 always feels so long when you're just standing there.
Wait.
Welcome back to the A.J. Palumbo Center. I'm Jeff Long here, the athletic director over at Pitt. And Jeff, I was talking to Greg about the importance of playing this inner-city game between Pitt and Duquesne. They're trying to get fans interested in their basketball program again. Obviously, Pitt, a very successful basketball program. Why is it still important for you guys to keep this kind of city rivalry going?
Well, it's tradition. We believe in tradition, and Pitt's got a great tradition, and Duquesne has a great tradition. And, we want to help them and help each other, build basketball in the city of Pittsburgh. And it's been a great rivalry for a long time, and it can be a great rivalry once again as well.
Some very, very good rivalries will come out of the Big East this year. Talk about the new Big East basketball and how exciting that is going to be.
Well, it really is exciting. With 16 teams in our new league, we honestly believe it's the best basketball conference in the country, and I don't think there's much argument about that. It's going to be a challenge, obviously, with Cincinnati, Louisville coming into the league, Marquette, DePaul, and South Florida has a ways to go yet, but those 4 teams will add instant depth to our conference, and from top to bottom, we feel like we really are the best.
And as a program, you're already feeling the effects. I understand the season is completely sold out at the Peterson Event Center for basketball.
Absolutely. We're very excited. Our fans stepped up. You know, we asked more of them in the donation area, and they stepped up, they responded, and we are sold out again for the 4th straight year in the Peterson Event Center, and that's outstanding. And I said in the press conference, you know, Pittsburgh is a basketball town. When I got here, they told me it wasn't, but you know, and I believe it is, and I believe our fans have really responded, and I think they love basketball in Pittsburgh.
And it should be an exciting basketball season. Jeff Long, thank you very much for joining us. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more from the A.J. Palumbo Center right after this.
Yeah, we're good. Mcallister, Krauser, and then Gray.
Hello, hello, 1, 2. Hello, hello.
Raj, is it a one highlight of each or like a montage of the first two guys? We got a break, okay.
Krauser average 14 or 15, Krauser? 15?
15. Krauser average 19. Sure, no problem. Been impressed with what you've seen so far from Duqusne. That's how I'm going to lead into you. And then you can make a comment, and then they're going to get into Mcallister video. Well, the Panthers came in as 13.5-point favorites, and at halftime they lead the Duquesne Dukes on the road by 9. Are you impressed that the Dukes are in the game at this point right now, Mike?
Well, they're hanging in without their big guy, Kieran Achara. At least they're hanging in the game. The last 2 years they were in the game at halftime, even leading by 2, and then they fell apart in the second half. They need to keep Brian Mcallister doing what he did in the first half. He's really been their only offense. He's doing a little better, a little dipsy doodle on a drive and a bank shot, 11 points. Couple rebounds, a few steals. He has been, we knew he was the catalyst, and he's proven it in the first half.
He has played 19 minutes, 4 of 8 shooting. On the other side, Carl Krauser has been the catalyst.
Well, he's already almost reached his average. Averages 15 a game, 13 in the first half. He hits you with a three-pointer. He'll hit you with a drive. He's had 3 assists, doing a little bit of everything. We talked about him not being the point guard, but he still makes things happen at the shooting guard.
We're at halftime, and Aaron Gray in the first half has made his presence felt as well.
Not a lot of points from Aaron Gray, only a few baskets, but 8 rebounds. Dukes are having trouble matching up with the big 7-footer.
And Mike, we take a look at the first half stats. Duquesne had 5 more shots, so they're getting opportunities they just can't hit right now.
It's not so much the shots, Brent, it's the kind of shots that Duquesne's getting. Pitt has played excellent defense, bumping all cuts, forcing you to take the perimeter shots. Without Mcallister's offense, Duquesne would really be struggling.
All right, we're at the Palumbo Center getting ready for the second half. Pitt by 9 at the break. Back with the final 20 minutes after this. All right. Yes. Okay. Hold on. Go on, headset. Yeah, I'm going to toss the sound of Mcallister. He had his headset off there for a second.
What'd you say, Rod? Okay.
I'll get to it right away.
Why don't you just take it?
Yeah, yeah. Brian Mcallister, the senior, keeping his team in the game in the first half, talked to us earlier about his leadership role on this squad.
It's a sense of urgency, so I mean, whatever I have to do, I do. It's just, I just got to tell the guys, to be focused, and it's a lot of patience. You got to be a lot of patience and understand that people get caught up in the moment and they make mistakes. But the biggest thing is that you got to be focused on the game. I can't be coaching everybody on the floor, telling them where they should be. It's kind of like a group thing. And
he brings up some great points. I mean, this team, it's been rough early. They lost to Arkansas Pine Bluff. They lost to Oakland. Then they lost to Akron. Finally a win against Robert Morris. He said from time to time he's had to get in guys' faces. You don't want this thing to spiral out of control.
You know what I like about B-Mac, too, is he comes from the WPIL. And a lot of times the WPIL gets a bad rap, maybe of not producing players. More of them are being produced. And he can play. He's a player. You're in the Atlantic 10. You make preseason All-Atlantic 10 team. Hey, the Atlantic 10 had 2 teams in the Final 8 a few years ago. Brian Mcallister has come from the WPIL and proven he can play.
Chauncey Duke in the lane, and there's Mcallister. Tees it up, and too short. Rebound to Pitt.
Key to the game, the first 3 minutes of the second half, if Duquesne's going to hang in this, Brent.
Near steal from Mcallister. Pitt by 9. Their biggest lead has been a dozen. Krauser for 3. It's off the backside of the iron. Kendall saves it for Gray. Lays it up and in, plus the foul.
And Levon Kendall made that play with just smart, fundamental position. Had got the inside position as an offensive player. Watch a shot go up. Levon Kendall has inside position and is smart enough to make a save and throw it to the big guy. If you're going to throw it anywhere, right, throw it up high to the big guy.
Gray with 3 double-doubles so far this season, averaging 14 points, 9 boards a game, 69% at the free throw line. Couldn't get that one to go. Duquesne down 11. Chauncey Duke, 7 points, 8 boards, a contest for him. Inside looking for Lambert. It's out of bounds to Pitt. You like the idea, just not the execution there.
Well, as I said, this first 3 minutes are so key to Duquesne to stay in the game. Hey, 2 years ago, they're leading by 2 at halftime, get handled in the second half. Last year at Pitt, they're not down only 6 at halftime. They lose by 30. So they have to stay in close these first 3 minutes.
Stolen away by Lambert. They get it done at the defensive end. As Mcallister crashed to the floor on the near side. Lambert flashes out. Caden baseline. And a push.
There's that let you go baseline idea and then force you into the help, which worked there, but a little bit of a blocking foul.
Every time one of the Dukes players has tried to drive baseline, a double team has been right there. Talked about it. Jamie Dixon says you're not going to play if you don't play defense. Long range, and that one is good for Jack Higgins, and that is a welcome sight for Duquesne fans.
Boy, did he need that. Did Duquesne need that, but even more so Higgins. 24% three-point range coming into this game, and he's supposed to be their three-point shooter.
Gray, that's just too deep on the block, and he gets fouled. 6 points, 9 boards so far for Aaron Gray, and he's back to the stripe.
Keith Gaden, if he gets behind Aaron Gray on the block and you have to play behind him and can't front him, it's all over. One of the things I think has made Aaron Gray much better this year, Brent, he lost 30 pounds since last year. 30 pounds. He's much more nimble. He gets up the court a lot better. I really like his drop step move, and he's really developed, I think, that really good baby hook in the lane.
What's that? His biggest game so far against St. Francis, 22 points, 11 boards, and 4 blocks. And that one rims off. Here come the Dukes. They're down 9. Higgins open again. And that one is off the front iron. Duke the rebound. Fresh shot clock for the Dukes. Higgins looking for cutters. Instead for Duke. Lambert picked up by Kendall. Went right around it. Reverse.
Oh, nice move.
Good.
Lambert has some potential. A very good freshman year at Western Kentucky 2 years ago. Second leading rebounder ever at Western Kentucky as a freshman. He can do some things. He's going to, if Duquesne's going to make anything of this game in this season, he's going to have to be a guy that comes through.
Krauser for Kendall. And he's left alone, and you can't do that.
He plays inside more this year, but he's still got a pretty good touch from the outside. Levon Kendall.
Levon Kendall from Vancouver, British Columbia. And that one out of bounds. It will remain with the Dukes.
Speaks 2 languages. French and English.
Very well
Smart
spoken.
kid. A lot of great interests outside the sport. I really like the kid.
He's got a bronze medal from the Under-21 World Championships this past offseason. I mentioned he had 40 against the US of A. Here goes Keith Gaden. Can't do that. Traveling violation back to Pitt.
Nice idea with a jab step, but got to keep that pivot foot down and the walk. Carl Krauser back to the wing. There's a lot of talk about Krauser last year. Would he make the NBA? Obviously, didn't think his prospects were very high to make it. I don't know if he ever will, but there's always opportunities overseas, and he's a guy I think could really play well, maybe overseas in a pretty good league.
Ramon has an open 3. Off the back iron and a push on the rebound. Back to the Dukes. DeGroat that time, the guilty party. Jamie Dixon beside himself. His 3rd year at the helm for the Pitt Panthers, taking over for Ben Howland, who went to the West Coast. Dream job for Ben Howland. So the young Jamie Dixon takes over, and there were some question marks. Why didn't Pitt go outside the program? Well, it's turned out to be a pretty good decision so far.
I just wish people would let him go a little bit. Let's see him go for a little bit. He's done a pretty good job the first 2 years.
In the lane, kept that one from Mcallister.
With Jamie Dixon, maybe they didn't go as far as they wanted last year in the NCAA. That was disappointing when they went out in the first round. But the guy's done some good things here and give him more of a chance. Brian Mcallister, I credit him a lot. He's come here tonight, and these guys play pickup games a lot against each other. Even Robert Morris players come down. They play here. They play at the Peterson Center. The Robert Morris guys come. So even though Pitt's dominated this rivalry, kind of some pride on the line here in this thing, and I really have been impressed with Mcallister. He has not backed down one bit tonight, taking it right into the heart of the Panthers.
He told both of us, as you see, he's got 13, make it 14 on the three-point play. Told both of us, I got to get one. This is the final chance.
Well, they've weathered the storm, Brent. 16 and a half left. They're only down by 6. They weathered one storm. There's probably going to be another one coming from Pitt. Can they weather that one?
Levance Fields, the freshman, working on Higgins for Krauser against Mcallister. The lob, not a good pass that time. Krauser wanted a push, so too did Jamie Dixon. Dixon pleading his case on the far sideline in front of the Pitt bench.
Hard to believe he can overthrow a 7-footer, but it happened.
I don't know that Manute Bowl could have gotten that.
No.
So here we are, a 6-point game. You talked about weathering the storm. It's always the final couple minutes of the first half and the first couple of the second half. The Dukes have weathered it. Here's Lambert driving in, high off the glass.
That's over the
out of
back.
bounds.
Keith Gaden a little out of control going after the rebound. Lambert made a nice move, just didn't finish.
16 minutes in the game, 37-31 Pitt. Levance Fields. 2-3 zone for the Dukes. Krauser baseline. Benjamin in the corner. Yes, sir.
Who made that play? Carl Krauser driving the baseline and making the extra pass for the 3.
Mcallister trying to answer into traffic. Gray the steal. Fields dishes off and a foul on the floor.
Block. Little New York backcourt going on here
Yeah.
right now. You got Krauser, you've got Benjamin, you got Fields, all New York guys. Barry Rorson recruiting them all.
He's getting them here. Well, they don't necessarily have the talent at Duquesne, but they do have Ryan Lambert.
Some point mentioned the last.
Welcome back to the A.J. Palumbo Center. We talked about the great shape that Aaron Gray is in. When we talked to him on Monday, he said he knew he was going to play more. He had to get into better shape. So what did he do? He lifted 5 days a week, but not just regular lifting. He did a lot of circuit training. 4 times a week, he concentrated on conditioning, a lot of running. And he told me on Monday that he feels like a completely different player, guys.
He looks like it too. Gets up and down the floor a whole lot better this year. Krauser spots it up. Off the front iron, tap try won't go, out of bounds to Pitt. Panthers stay with it.
I like Jamie Dixon's move there. We come out of a timeout, always come out with a set play, especially when you're taking the out of bounds. Got Krauser a 3 look, just couldn't quite knock it down.
Fields out high for Kendall. 15-15 second half. 9-point Pitt lead. Fields penetrates that zone. Benjamin left alone. And that one is short. He gets his own rebound, rejected, and Gray can't finish. The second time he does.
Duquesne just says, nobody to match him, Brent. Nobody to match him. That's where Karen Achara is so desperately missed. On the inside, the 6'9" player for Duquesne. Watch Aaron Gray once, misses a little bunny. Stay with it, big guy. Keeps the ball high, keeps it away from the little guys. Puts in the second.
He's got 13 boards already, including one right there on the offensive. On the offensive glass. 7 points, 13 rebounds for the junior from Emmaus, PA. gets it to go. Lead back up to a dozen. Shawn Mckeon knocked away. Here comes Krauser, steaming all the way to the hole for the weigh-in.
He takes chances on defense. Sometimes they don't work out. Sometimes they do. That one worked out.
First in the Big East Conference at 3 steals per game for Carl Krauser. They need Lambert to get something done against Kendall. Higgins picked up by Benjamin. Higgins dials up long distance, and that one off the side of the iron. Gray clears it. There you see it, 3-point percentages. Pitt 4 of 12. 17-footer, no. Lambert the rebound. Mckeon.
One more. Missed.
There's Kelly, knocked away by Krauser. He didn't like that call.
See, Carl Krauser, he likes to take those chances. He'll try and get those hands in there and catch the ball on the way up, block the shot on the way up. Sometimes gets himself a little bit of foul trouble because of that, but boy, he makes a lot of things happen also.
Brian Kelly goes to the line, another freshman, 6'7" from Decatur, Georgia. 1 of 2 foul line this year. And the lefty, the swish.
We've mentioned Brian Mcallister and Jack Higgins being Pittsburgh guys at Duquesne. They're seniors. They won't be here next year. But a couple other Pittsburgh guys will be coming in for Duquesne. Stephen McNeese, guard from up in Shenango. Where's that at, everybody said? Up near Newcastle. He had 48 the other night with 9 threes. Got to be looking for him maybe to come in. Antonio DeMary, another Duquesne recruit that signed in the early period from Bishop Canevin High School in Pittsburgh. And boy, could they use this guy tonight. Arnold Hall, one of the top junior college centers in the country. Duquesne landed him. Too bad he couldn't get here for this game.
Right.
He'll be here next year.
From Costa Rica. They say he's the real deal.
Believe me, they need him.
Benjamin against Mcallister. There's Sam Young. Hasn't exploded yet.
Nice look.
Beautiful dish, and Gray flushes it.
Nice look by Sam.
Kelly looking inside. Lambert backing down, and Lambert. Hudson foul.
You know, Lambert has some potential. Good body on him. Makes some nice moves. Struggles a little bit to finish on plays. Watch here. Sam Young, noted as an athlete, but watch on the little dish there, and Gray, and throw it down, big boy.
You like the unselfishness from the freshman Young, because he can do a lot.
I said if he can get the handling that ball a little better, developing that outside shot a little better, he could have a great future here at Pitt. The athleticism is definitely there.
Hudson's second free shot in there. Got them both, so the lead is manageable right now if you're the Dukes. Benjamin bringing it across. "13 minutes, second half. 12-point game. 15 to shoot, and there's the athleticism from Sam Young. It wouldn't go. Fields gets a fresh 35.
He's wearing number 23. The way he spread his legs that time gave you a little bit of Jordan there, didn't he?
The reverse dunk on the alley-oop earlier in the season was one of the highlights I've seen from Pitt. Fadeaway 3 and a foul committed by the Dukes. Aaron Jackson picks up the personal, and we're going to see 3 free throws from another freshman, Levance Fields.
Well, Levance Fields does a good job of shooting the 3 and kicking that leg out a little bit and initiating the contact. Now go to the line for 3.
Fields at the free throw line. 2 of 2. He's got 2 points tonight, 4 boards.
One of those New York guys, was there 6 of them on Pitt's team? DeGroat, Benjamin, Fields, Ramon, Biggs, Krauser.
Yep.
Barry Royson, that New York connection, bringing them in.
Nice to have a pipeline to certain places in the country. In New York City, you would have to say, is right up there.
You know, the thing I see happening with Pitt, too, I really like how their staff has come together. Barry Rorson's a great recruiter. Joe Lombardi's done a great job. His son's a player at Pine Richland, as a matter of fact. A sophomore, nice player. Orlando Antigua, the former player, Pat Sandel. I think Jamie's done a good job of putting together a decent staff, and I see them meshing, I think, a little more as the years go by here. And some exciting things with some good young players ahead for the Panthers this year. It's going to be very interesting when Big East play starts.
Cutting through is Kelly. Off the glass and in.
That's one of the few times tonight Duquesne's gotten anything out of that flex cut, getting the ball into the post and then finishing.
Back to 13. Just over 12 to go. Fields penetrates. Shovels to Big. Stolen away. Duquesne with numbers if they hurry. Mcallister baseline with a foul.
Block.
We'll take a timeout. 11:58 to go in the basketball game, the 74th City game. How about Carl Krauser? Pitt by 13.
Care of it. That was 2000. You got the two.
Pitt by 13, just under 12 to go in the game. Brent Stover and Mike White along with Trenny Kuznerek at the A.J. Palumbo Center. The Best Damn Sports Show, period, is the greatest nightly sports show on television tonight. Jimmy Connors, a tennis legend, and Michael Strahan, the defensive end for the New York Giants. The Best Damn Sports Show, period, tonight at 10:30, only on FSN Pittsburgh. Dukes with the ball, trailing by 13. Danny Nee calling out signals from the sideline. It's 26 years a head coach. He's been at Ohio, Nebraska, season at Robert Morris, and now here at Duquesne for his 5th season on the Bluff. Keith Caden looking in, foul away from the ball.
Levon Kendall, a little bumping going on, gets the foul call. We mentioned 23 of 26 for Pitt. They've beaten Duquesne. They've only played here 2 other times, though. And the Dukes upset them once here. 1988, Brian Shanahan, Clayton Adams. Pitt came in with Darrell Porter and Sean Miller, and Jason Matthews, Brian Shorter, Bobby Martin, all great sophomores. Dukes upset them. 80-76 here at Palumbo.
You know, Danny Nee has beaten this Pitt team. Back when he was the head man at Nebraska.
But
Danny Nee beat him in Lincoln.
If I'm Danny Nee, I don't know if I want to beat Pitt, Brent. Look, you know why? The last 3 times Duquesne has beat Pitt, the coach either got fired or resigned at the end of the season.
1999 in Lincoln, 69-57. The Nebraska Cornhuskers beat the Pitt Panthers.
So maybe Danny Nee, hey, then Jim Saddlein got fired.
Yeah.
Scott Edgar, Darrell Porter resigned. They all beat Pitt in the end of that season. They were gone.
Right. Fields turned down the three-pointer. Instead, cross-court to Graves. Down low, it's Tyrell Biggs. Pivots. Can't hit. And a foul on the rebound.
Well, Tyrell tried to go with some power there, and I think it's just a little bit of a frustration foul. He made a nice move, missed the shot. I think a little frustration going over top, picking up the foul here. Watch him. Does a good job of going one way and then trying to go the other. Misses a shot, a little bit of a frustration, I think, there, and over the top.
Biggs didn't think so.
Who, me?
Keith Gayden at the foul line. 60% foul shooter coming in, and that one rims in. So the lead at 11 right now for Pitt. And what do the Dukes have to do here, Mike, to get this thing down to 4 or 5, chip away?
Well, they do. They're not. They weathered a storm. They're in the game. They really need some offense. Somebody other than Mcallister. Boy, they could use a couple outside shots from Jack Higgins right now. And they need to open up the game, and if they can't, try and get Mcallister out on the break. They're sitting back in this zone right now. It's not doing too bad of a job against Pitt.
2-3 look. Fields working on Jackson. Here's Kendall. Kendall against Keith Gayden. Fields for 3. That one missed up the right side of the iron. Mcallister didn't have numbers, takes it in anyway, and a foul.
We're going to call a bump on Antonio Graves, and that's Duquesne's only chance. They can get Bryant Mcallister in the open court, let him create some things. Did a good job there. Bryant Mcallister forced that foul.
Yeah.
Good job of using his body, going into contact. Good players don't shy away from contact. They go into contact. That's what he did there.
Mcallister now 5 of 7 at the free throw line, 15 points in the game. Their second leading scorer is Lambert with 8. And then you've got Davario Hudson with 7, but Hudson only 2 of 8 from the field. Both of them good for Mcallister. The faithful enjoying it. It's down to 8. Little pressure from the Dukes. Little 8-2 run for the Duquesne Dukes. Graves penetrates the zone for Kendall. It's in there. Count that one for Levon Kendall.
That play was made by dribble penetration in the good old bounce pass. That is so effective, but people forget about Levon Kendall coming from the low post. Great look, great bounce pass from Graves, and Levon with the finish.
Levon Kendall with 7 in the game. He's 3 for 4 at the foul line tonight. And that one is too strong, and Gayden with the rebound. Eight-point game. Lambert trying to post his man up. 3-point shot, too short from Mcallister.
That was one of the bad shots that Bryant Mcallister took tonight.
Krauser from distance. It's too short. Rebound knocked out of bounds. And we're going the other way.
And the Pitt faithful don't like it. Jamie Dixon certainly doesn't like it.
52-42, under 10 to go in the game. There you see Pitt 4 of 14 on triples. Duquesne 3 of 11. Inside, Gayden turns on his man. Gayden, the
nice move. Nice move, Keith Gayden. Did a great job of facing up with a reverse pivot and the little jump hook.
Keith Gayden with 4 in the game. Back down to
5
8.
count.
Near steal. Ronald Ramon wide open.
Well, Duquesne went for the steal. Mcallister so close to getting it, but sometimes when you go for that steal and don't get it, it can hurt you, and it did right there.
Gayden going to work again. This one from deeper range, and that one off the front iron. Krauser to run. He's got Graves weak side. Takes it in himself, and Krauser gets fouled.
Well, the two-star guards went head-to-head on that transition play. Carl Krauser, once again, mentioned at the other end. The good players go into contact, Brent. They go into contact, try and draw something, make something happen. That's what he did there. Drew the foul from Brian Mcallister.
Krauser right at his average for the season, 15.
Yeah, he only has 2 this half, had 13 at the half, Brent. Been a little quiet scoring, but he's done some other things, had some steals, had a couple good assists. He does more than just score for that team. 6 assists, leading the Panthers so far.
6 of 12 from the field, 2 of 3 at the line. Jamie Dixon willing his team to put some distance between them and the Dukes right now. Second one good. Substitution, Sam Young in for Jamie Dixon's team. Dixon is a quiet guy. You get the feeling he doesn't get too boisterous, but I did ask a couple of the players yesterday. They said, you know what, from time to time, he'll let you know loudly.
I've seen he's quiet maybe with the media and everything, but you've seen him practice or on the sideline sometimes. He's not always quiet.
Lambert can't get it to go, and a foul on the rebound.
Chauncey Duke with the push-off.
8:48 in the contest, and Pitt up 56-44. They have won 4 straight in this series by an average of 18.5 points per contest. Overall, they've won 23 of the last 26.
They've let Duquesne hang around, and some other games this year where Pitt definitely was the better team, they let teams hang around, and then they push on that accelerator at some point in the second half and get an easy win. But that's been one of the things they talked about would like to get a little better at. When you're this much better than a team, let's get on them early, keep them down. They did that against Auburn the other night. They had a tremendous performance against Auburn. Although Auburn, SEC, my goodness. Brent, we both saw the game. Are they bad or are they bad?
They're bad, but also, you know, you give Pitt some credit that they didn't let up. I mean, that was 40 minutes of heck. I mean, that was the fewest points Auburn had scored in nearly a quarter century. They only had 15 at halftime.
Well, when you play a bad team, you're supposed to blow them out, and that's what Pitt did.
Swinging around for Mcallister. Breaks his man down and can't finish. Rebound, Krauser. And you know he wants to run. Oh, wow. Back to the Dukes. Traveling violation against Ramon.
Great move at the other end. Great change of directions between the legs for Brian Mcallister. Just couldn't finish. He's had a few of them tonight where he just couldn't finish. Remember, he even looked over here the one time in the first half and said, I got to make a layup.
12 turnovers for the Panthers. They had 9 in the first half. Talked about Higgins. They've got to get him going from outside.
He has trouble getting an open look, and he's forced a couple other shots, and just hasn't had much.
Mcallister to the deck. I think they called Gray for a foul. Indeed, a personal against the 7-foot junior from Emmaus, Pennsylvania, Aaron Gray. 14-point game. Under 8 to go in the contest at the Palumbo Center. Danny Nee trying to keep his team fired up. You know, Jamie Dixon intense in this one.
How much time do I have? Like, do a question toss back. 2 questions, okay. About the team. I want you to answer in Italian though. A.J. Palumbo Center. Well, look who I found, former Pitt star Javon Troutman. Chevy, you're watching your own team play. What are your observations? What do you think of this team so far?
I really like the fact that they definitely turned into more of a transition team since I left, and they acquired a lot of new faces and stuff, and they're really helping.
Now, you know, you're spending some time in Italy playing basketball over there. What has that experience been like for you? What's basketball like overseas?
It's like a lot the same, but there's a lot of new rules and stuff that I have to adjust to, and I had a hard time adjusting to it. But as of now, this month, we've been playing really good, and I've been playing good, and I feel like I have most of the rules down.
I know you said you're heading back next week to play basketball. Then how long after that does the season go, and what are your plans after the season is over?
The season lasts till May 30th. I plan on going back on Sunday. Hopefully there's no snow or anything, and I get back on Sunday. But you know, I just hope to have a great season. You know, continue playing great like I was at Pitt, and hopefully, you know, get on a keep it rolling.
All right, best of luck to you, Chevy. Thanks for joining us. All right, guys, back to you and back to the game.
Chevy Troutman, 17th on Pitt's all-time scoring list. His senior year, 15 points, 8 boards a game last year.
He was a horse inside. And, you know, you stop and think of this team, as good as Aaron Gray's been. What if, as Mcallister shoots a 3, what if Chris Taft would have stayed, Brent?
With he and Gray inside, I mean, talk about the strides that Gray has made. That's the alley-oop to Sam Young.
And Sam says, what's the big deal? You just throw it up, I throw it down. You see him walking on the court, his hands out, what's the big deal?
Higgins trying to answer for the Dukes. Fade away. It won't go. Krauser the board.
See, that's been Jack Higgins' problem. He hasn't been able to get shots, and then he takes bad shots like that one there. And that's why his percentage is so low.
The lead back to 14 for the Panthers. 6:39 in the game. Sam Young has been compared by his teammates to Vince Carter, Desmond Mason as well. A couple of high flyers. Krauser penetrates. And the contact.
Carl Krauser took it right at Shawn Mckeon. We'll see the slam here. It's just as easy as this. You throw it up from Krauser, great look from Krauser, and I throw it down. Watch Sam, he just comes up the court and put his hand on it. What's the big deal? I do that all the time.
18 and 4 for Krauser. 3 shot is good. Krauser 6 of 7 at the line tonight. Came in just a 53% foul shooter on the year, but he's got it done at the stripe tonight.
You know, we talked about Chris Taft. A lot of people thought he should have stayed, that he still needed work.
Yeah.
The only thing is, I don't know. I mean, he got to get that motor going inside of him. And he's on the inactive list now at Golden State Warriors. Golden State's a good team, but he's on the inactive list. I don't know how long he'll be in the NBA. I personally feel he definitely could have used another year in college.
No doubt. I think a lot of people would agree with that. I think it's good for Krauser that he's come back. There's the steal. What's he do this time? Finger roll. Off the mark. Here come the Dukes. Jackson shovels it off. Layup good for Gaten.
Nice look by the freshman Aaron Jackson. You know, Krauser just a little too much, as Al McGuire would say, French pastry in that last one. He did not need to go one-handed the whole way. He could have just went up with a simple layup. Would have been much easier.
He heard us talking about the NBA, so he thought he would show the NBA scouts something.
Good bounce.
Biggs on the deck along with 2 Duquesne players, and he traveled.
Carl Krauser with the penetration and the bounce. As you watch here, watch Carl. Carl, just go grab that and put it up off the glass. Make an easy layup. A little too much here, but you know what? He's a senior. He's been around a long time. We'll give him a break here.
Keith Gaten finishing at the other end. Gaten in the game with 6. It's a 14-point game, 5.5 left. Haven't heard much from Chauncey Duke out there tonight. Good job by Ramon in front of the pass and knocks it out.
Well, Mcallister the only one in double figures with 18.
Lambert stuck on 8, 7 for Hudson, 6 for Gaten. It's been mostly a one-man show.
Here come Mcallister off the screen to the right-hand wing.
It's not there, though. Instead, it's Duke. It won't go. Biggs the board. Pitt trying to extend that 14-point lead. Benjamin for Krauser. Top of the key. Bingo!
That right there, my friend, is simple basketball. Hit gap, kick outside, knock down the three. Simple as that. Hit gap, kick.
5:11 to go in the game. It's 65-48 after the three-pointer from Carl Krauser. $4,546 fans here at the Blumbo Center tonight, including some crazy 17-point lead for the Pitt Panthers. He traveled 2.5 miles across town for this one, and look at Jamie Dixon's team and this program in the last 5 years. Pretty impressive in the non-conference portion of the season.
Well, they don't play, to be honest, the toughest non-conference schedule. And so you really get, not that they're not a good team, but you really don't know how good until they start playing that Big East play. Been criticized for that non-conference schedule some.
17-point game, and the Dukes need something in a hurry as we go under 5 to play with Jackson. Higgins off the screen, right side of the iron, rebound, Ramon. Panthers want to run, stolen away Lambert, back to Pitt, and they lose it out of bounds. Back to the Dukes.
You know, there's that old rule in basketball. Don't save it underneath your own basket if you don't know where you're throwing it. And then you look at Pitt's upcoming schedule right there. They're not really going to get tested until at South Carolina. Wisconsin's had some good teams over the years.
I think what fans oftentimes want to see is at least a name from a conference. Granted, Auburn was terrible.
Auburn was a name.
They were a name. Started 4 freshmen in the pretty left-handed floater from Keith Gayton.
Knowing what we know now, Pitt would have been better off playing Auburn on the road this year because they could have won down there. Now if they have to go down there next year, Auburn will be a little better.
Tyrell Biggs finishes, and the lead is back up to 17 for the Panthers. Jackson in the corner. Higgins against Benjamin. Spins in the lane and lays it up and in.
All right, Jack, nice move. Not relying on just that jump shot, taking it to the basket.
Higgins with 7 in the contest. Duqusne hanging around. You gotta like the moxie of this team.
Down 15, 3 minutes left. It would take a miracle for them to pull this one out. But
how about a confidence boost, though? If you're Danny Nee, you want to see him compete the final 3.5. As I say it, it's Jackson, the freshman.
Oh, my.
Gets it back, though. Good hustle by Jackson. Higgins, guarded shot, air ball. Rebound to Duqusne. On the floor, and here comes Benjamin.
Once again, Jack Higgins can shoot, but you got to take good shots. Right there, the hand in his face, off balance. And Jackson, I think, got confused into whether to dunk that one or lay it in. Got caught in the middle and missed it.
It was a 9-point game and a half, and now it's a 15-point game. Young got his man in the air and lays it in.
Nice pump fake by Sam Young, taking it to the basket.
Timeout on the floor. 30-second timeout for Danny Nee and the Duquesne Dukes. 2:44 to go in the game, and Pitt a 17-point lead.
Well, we talked about Duquesne being undermanned on the inside, and we wondered how they would hold up against Aaron Gray and Levon Kendall. And for the first half, they were okay, only being out-rebounded 22-19. But just like the last few years, they wear down in the second half. Now you look at the rebounds, 43-31 in favor of Pitt.
We remind you that Saturday it's a local college basketball doubleheader. FSN Pittsburgh brings you two exciting local matchups starting at noon. The Duquesne Dukes take on the West Virginia Mountaineers. Next, it's the Penn State Nittany Lions hitting the floor against the Pitt Panthers. Catch all the action on Saturday starting at noon only here on FSN Pittsburgh. A couple of fun matchups coming up this weekend. This is a fun time of year when the local teams get together for a few games.
Well, Penn State and Pitt, too bad they can't play in football, but they do play in basketball. Yeah. And Panthers, I think, will definitely be the favorite in that one also, although Penn State's improved a little this year. Hopefully they'll get in a little better game than the past few years.
Hudson out high. 2.5 to go. Down 17. They need points. They need them in a hurry. And the noise you hear is the zoo behind the Duquesne hoop right now. The Pitt Zoo. Kelly from 18 got fouled. 2:14 in the game, 69-52 Pitt, and there is the zoo right there, sprinkled amongst the Duquesne Duke fans. 17-point game, a couple of minutes to go. Pittsburgh up by 17, 2:14 to go. And if you're Danny Nee, what do you take out of a game like this?
Well, the best thing you can say is they competed. They were in the game. They did not get blown out. They played hard. They're outmanned. They don't have as much talent as Pitt. They don't have as much size. They don't have as much muscle. but they competed. I think Brian Mcallister showed he could play with some of the best players on Pitt's team and can play in the Big East. The key for Duquesne, where they go from here, Brent, they've got a stretch coming up. They're at West Virginia their next game on Saturday. That's going to be a tough one for them. Then they're at Youngstown State, the Citadel, then they're here at Boston College, and then their own holiday tournament. Those are some games they can get. They can win. They have to start getting some wins against teams that they're supposed to beat, or it's going to be a long, long, long season. This next 2 weeks, I think, is going to be very big for Duquesne's season.
Interesting to see. The A-10 has a couple of new members. We talked about the Big East adding teams with the A-10 with St. Louis and Charlotte joining the league.
Charlotte will make a difference. They're a very good ball club. They go to the NCAA, that will make a difference. But the Dukes, next few weeks is big. We got Appalachian State coming in here. The team close to my heart.
Is that right?
That's right. My brother played there. Played for famed Press Maravich at Appalachian State. Pete's dad.
Pete's dad, huh?
He never came here, played Duquesne back then.
Under 2 to go and Pitt to inbound. Graves with it in the corner. '74th City game winding down. In for Gray, out to Kendall. That one's off the mark. Left side, Brian Kelly. Cross court, Hudson. And Hudson strong to the rack. Good finish.
Nice move. One of the first times somebody other than Mcallister's taking the ball hard to the hole.
14-point game. And Davario Hudson with 7 in the contest.
So what do you think, Brent? Big East play starts maybe next few weeks? Pitt up near the top? Chance to compete maybe for that? Hard to say, I know. You just don't know with the competition. But they've done some good things here in the last few games and so far this season.
It's going to be a fun conference, I'll tell you right there. You're not going to put me on the hot seat and make me make a prediction, but I will say this. Preseason, they were picked 7th. You got Cincy, DePaul, Louisville, South Florida, Marquette coming into the conference. They're an upper echelon team, there's no doubt about it. What I'm interested to see, how many teams get into the tournament from the new Big East?
Well, that's what I was about to say. I think if they finish 7th or 6th, they're in.
Sure.
I mean, Big East sometimes sent 6 or 7. So you finish 6th or 7th in the new Big East, I mean, you're in. I would think so.
You know, the other conference you talk about every year, the ACC, I think they'll be good again, but boy, I'd be hard-pressed to say the ACC, top to bottom, is going to be better right now than the Big East.
Oh, I would agree wholeheartely with you. I mean, the addition of those teams, just Louisville coming in. I mean, that's big time. That's Ricky P. That's, big-time basketball. They've got their program rolling, and Big East is, if you're a Pitt basketball fan, you got to like what's happening. And I think people don't realize, there's basketball fans in Pittsburgh. I mean, look at Pitt.
Yeah.
They're selling out every game. You put them a decent product here, people will come watch basketball in Pittsburgh. This is, it's not football. It's not on the level of football. But Pitt, I think, has done something to Pittsburgh I think has been nice, and it's made basketball come up in this area.
Yep. Pitt empties the bench. Charles Small out there
Smalls
guarding the ball. Nice look and the finish. The dunk from Davario Hudson. Small in there along with Marcus Bowman.
Here comes Small. He's a favorite of the Oakland Zoo, and Pitt, when he gets in, the students love him. They want him to shoot one. Let's see if he gives one up.
5'7" from Detroit, Michigan. Here's Bowman with the basketball out to Small. 13 ticks, 14-point lead, and Bowman a deep three. In and out. The Dukes one final chance with 4 seconds. Jackson at the end knocks it in, and a good way to finish. Your final thoughts on this one, Mike White?
They covered, I think. Well, all the people out there with that, they covered with that last 3. The Dukes hung tough. They competed. The pitch is too big, too strong, and basically just too good for Duquesne.
And if you're Pitt, you feel pretty good about this win here tonight, first road test?
Well, you go 6-0. It's a road test. You're only about a half a mile away, so we don't know how big of a road test. But if you're Jamie Dixon, you keep winning. And they did it with some Krauser was excellent again. But these guys are getting some contributions from a number of different people, which is going to be, I think, key for their season.
Final score in the 74th City game. 71 for Pitt, 60 for Duquesne. Pittsburgh Sports Tonight is next.
1 minute, that's fine, all I got. I've got Carl. Okay. We ready? Okay. Thanks very much, guys. I'm here with Carl Krauser. And Carl, this one was a little tight there for a while. Are you surprised at the fact that Duquesne really ran with you guys as opposed to maybe trying to force you to play their kind of game?
Yeah, this basketball team has really gotten better from previous years. You know, they have really, they came out with a great defensive intensity, and they capitalized on a lot of our mistakes, and they did a great job today.
Talk about your team specifically and the confidence you guys seem to have. Even when they got close, you could tell there was almost an air about your team. Where's that confidence coming from?
It's just coming from playing as a team. You know, we all believe that we're going to stick together in the crunch time of games and the clutch of games. So we came out there emphasizing the first 5 minutes, second half is going to be most important, and we just want to stick together and get this win on the road.
All right, Carl Krauser, perfect against Duquesne. Thank you very much for joining us. Now let's send it back to the studio.